my home, sweet home.
I talked to another veteran that had went on another trip, and he told me that you wouldn't believe how good you felt when you got home from this trip, and he was right. I've never felt so proud to be in the service and so proud of our service in my whole life. It just went to another level going on this trip.
Honestly, I wasn't going to go because, like a lot of vets, I didn't feel like I was a hero, so I didn't want to go. But my wife kind of talked me into going. I talked to other vets and they said, you got to go because it's so great. And after going, there's no way to describe it. Well, I knew we'd see the monuments, you know, and there was places I was looking forward to, like Arlington was #1 on my list. And talking to the other vets and stuff, we kind of had an idea of what we're going to see, but to see it in person was just phenomenal.
Well, I had two friends that are real good friends, and I probably wouldn't have gone had they were both gonna go. It was just they were going, and I really thought it would be it'd work out good to have the three of us going. As it turned out, we were each on different buses, and this guy that I kind of shared the trip with, he was just the nicest guy, so it worked out great. Wouldn't have mattered if I had two more friends or not. I've gotten more friends now.
Part of it was because I know two people whose names are on that wall, one of them a relative, and just to be with men and women that have a commonality.
Well, Arlington, of course, that was what I was really looking forward to. Then the World War II monument, and the Vietnam Wall is awesome. You know, it's for any Vietnam vet, you look at all the names. I didn't know anybody in particular on that wall, but still, they were people that lost their lives, and you have to respect that. And I seen other vets that was, you know, scribing on the wall, and I think it really helped them make that connection, you know. And other vets were there to console them, you know, to feel their pain, and just to share everything.
The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, I have to say I'd never seen it before, and the thoughts that were in my head when I watched that, how beautiful it was, but I don't know, it was great. I just enjoyed and I thought about all the service people have lost their life, and over the years, you know, just you never think of how many American soldiers have died.
In a way, I think it was the Lincoln Memorial. Arlington was amazing because I had the privilege and honor of laying the wreath. But I think the Lincoln Memorial brought back a lot of things that if that war, the Civil War, had gone differently, where would we be now? Would we be sitting here doing this now? Some of those thoughts I had.
So well organized and went so smooth. I mean, we had a few weather issues. Nobody can help that. Everything else just went so good. What I was really pretty impressed with was I'd been to the East Coast one time when I was in the service, and I really didn't ever want to go back. But the people of Washington, D.C., at least the people that I came into contact with, were just so hospitable and so kind, and just, they were great people.
I don't believe I have the words to describe how wonderful Don and his staff and all of the volunteers, the doctors, the escorts, the USO people in Baltimore, all of the places we went, it was more than I ever dreamed and better than I had ever been treated in my life. Washington has so much to offer to see. It's hard to pack it all into the time frame that we had, but these guys, Don and his staff, did a fantastic job of laying everything out minute by minute and day by day.
You couldn't be treated any better. I mean, we were treated so well. On the bus tours, we never lacked for anything, you know, at the restaurants or at the clubs. There was nothing you could have wanted other than what they had. I mean, it was just great. Again, Don and his crew and everybody that was involved just had everything in such an order that it was great.
We were spoiled beyond belief. The buses, the airport, everything they did for us was way above what I expected. Don and his people just did a great job of getting us to everything at the right time and close, and the hotel was nice, the plane flight was nice. I've never been treated so well in my life. I mean, every place, the Legion Club we went to, I mean, I thought that was so cool that they let us all come in there and eat in a little Legion Club at 175 people. Just let us in there and feed us all, and then going to Fort Myer was something else too. I like that too. Just, we were treated very well. I had some people shake my hands that I never expected to. We were at the Iwo Jima Memorial, and these little girls came up and shook my hand. And I just never had anybody, thank you, and it just, wow. I keep saying wow, but it just made me feel so good, and they did a great job. Everybody did a great job.
I think a lot of it is the healing, even though I felt like I didn't have to heal from Vietnam. Because I came back, I come through DC, I didn't have any protesters protesting me or anything. The only protesting was on TV that I seen. So I was treated okay, but still down inside there must have been something that needed to touch other veterans from the same place, the same era, that it just brings everybody closer. You know, it's hard to describe unless you're there. You know, it's just awesome.
We have so many common experiences, so many shared feelings, and sometimes the rest of the people don't exactly know, don't have much of a clue of what you might have gone through. Not that I went through anything exceptional, but the people that were with us on the trip, every one of them had the same feelings and all of them, when they got off the plane, I know felt just like I did stepping off that thing. It was just overwhelming. I mean, and I know every one of us was on the edge of tears, you know. If you could get a chance to go on this trip, go. It doesn't matter, just go, whatever it takes.
And like the other three gentlemen said, it's a time of release. You remember, you reflect, and in my case, I have my cousin's husband whose name was on the wall and a guy I went to high school with, and so I scribed my cousin's husband's name and mailed it to her out in Oregon. And that was one of my main reasons for wanting to go to the wall. But I look at that and I go, you know, that saying, all give some, but some give all, and that just don't say it well enough.
Well, just seeing the families, the veteran, the member of the veteran's family, whether it be son, daughter, mother, father, and the relationship that they've learned from each other on these flights. I think it's a healing process for the whole family itself, not just the veteran. So by going on these flights, it's just amazing to see the veterans, the emotions the veterans have on these flights, and I think the appreciation they have in serving their country, knowing that they are appreciated.
Awesome, amazing, and to think someone took the time to design and then had the foresight to include and honor the ones that give all for our country.
The half-scale wall was in Lincoln some years back, and I went and saw that. So I was sort of prepared for I mean, of course the wall is so much more, but I really didn't know anybody in particular. Well, there was a guy from Loomis that I knew of. We were in 4-H together. But that was really the only one that I knew sort of personally, really. But when you think about the investment that the young men of America put into that, and the number of lives lost, and even now I'm not too sure that I really know exactly why we were there for sure. I mean, it was to keep those people free, but we didn't do a real good job of that, I guess. It's just a huge investment that we made, and I'm not, you know, it's impressive. That's all I can say.
The wall has its own meaning, as we know. The wall is the most visited memorial in Washington, D.C., as we've learned. And to see those veterans trace those names on the wall, to see the emotion they have, and especially on these trips when they take their spouses or, again, their family member. And I think that family member has a greater appreciation of how that veteran has lived these years with not talking about their experiences from the service. We had a veteran on a World War II flight. Him and his wife shared their stories on the trip, and the wife said, "We would have understood each other better had you shared your wartime experiences with me." And I think these veterans, that happens to them. They share their experiences. They're among friends, they're among family, and veterans are their family.
When I walked off the plane, I looked and I knew there would be a crowd. And as I walked off of there, I thought, this is for the folks that didn't get the recognition that they deserved when they come back. And as I walked down toward the end and went around the corner, my grandkids were there, and my wife's teaching staff were there, and I lost it. It was very humbling to think that someone would clap and cheer and call my name.
When I come out of the plane and saw the band playing and the fire trucks and the big flags, I have to tell you, I couldn't help it. My tears wouldn't stop rolling down my face, and people shaking your hand, and the mayor giving you the key to the city, and a lot of my family was there too, and it was just very emotional, and God dang, I felt pretty proud. It was awesome.
About the first 5 seconds after getting off the plane. I mean, the trip was fantastic. Everything went perfect and everything, but It's hard to describe the feelings when you get off the plane. It was just a flood of emotion. I mean, you can't really describe it. You just had to be there.